Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview ahead of our FA Cup fourth round fixture. Bloody hell, that took a lot to say. FA Cup fourth round fixture against Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday. 8 PM kickoff live on BT Sport, I believe, at Goodison Park. Why it's an 8 PM kickoff on a Sunday, I still don't know. I still don't understand. I can't think I can recall another game on a Sunday that's kicked off at 8 PM. But it is what it is. Everton coming up against Sheffield Wednesday, the Championship side, who are currently 23rd in the Championship. Haven't played for a couple of weeks themselves due to an COVID outbreak in their camp. However, everything is all good now and they are available to play this game on Sunday. They're actually in quite good form, Sheffield Wednesday, in the league recently. They've only won 6 games this season, and 4 of those wins have come in the last 5 games. They've been on pretty decent form. Like I said, they haven't played themselves for a couple of weeks. Their last game was on the 9th of January. They beat Exeter 2-0 away from home. So they're going to have had an extended break. Obviously, Everton have had a little bit of an extended break after last Sunday's Premier League fixture against Aston Villa was postponed again due to a COVID outbreak in the Aston Villa camp. Look, last time we had a game postponed and we had a little bit of a longer break. It didn't quite go in our favour, of course, after the Manchester City game was postponed and we turned up on New Year's Day against West Ham and, it wasn't great, was it? Let's be perfectly honest. But we bounced back in the third round of the FA Cup against Rotherham. Again, not a great performance, but ultimately a win, which is all that matters. And then, of course, a really, really good win last time out against Wolves. So we're going to do the game preview today. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to get into my predicted starting 11. We're going to get into some injury news as well. A massive thanks to everybody for joining us live. If you have joined us, really do appreciate it. If you could leave the live stream a like, it would mean a great deal to me. If you could share the stream as well, let's try and get as many people involved as we possibly can. Big thanks for all of the support on the recent videos as well. Uploaded a little Talking Rubbish transfer show yesterday. It was quite impromptu. I didn't think I was going to record one, but you know what, I was sitting here after work and I thought, you know what, let's just do a Talking Rubbish transfer show, because we spoke earlier on this week about who Everton should be looking to sign, but the players that we mentioned weren't really linked with Everton. It was just players that Everton probably should be linked with going forward. So I thought we'd sit down and we'd talk about the players that have actually been linked with moves to Everton. So we sat down and talked about those yesterday. Let's get straight into it then. Carlo Ancelotti has had his pre-game press conference today ahead of Sunday's game. One of the first questions he was asked was an injury update. He has confirmed that Dominic Calvert-Lewin has returned from his hamstring injury that kept him out of that win against Wolves last time out. However, he did say Lucas Digne and Alex Iwobi will miss this one, along with Alan, Fabian Delph and Niles Nkunku. Jean-Philippe Gbamin is also still out injured. Ancelotti was asked then directly about Gbamin, and he said it's just a day-by-day process with him. He's had a really big injury, so we don't want to rush him. He's making progress. It's step by step. He will be back, but we want, when he does come back, we want him to be ready to get stuck in straight away rather than picking up any further injuries. In regards to Lucas Digne and Alex Iwobi, Carlo Ancelotti has said that they won't be available for this game. He didn't specifically give a reason. He didn't specifically mention an injury, but he just basically said that they're not available for this game on Sunday. However, he expects them both to be back available for Wednesday's Premier League fixture against Leicester City. So maybe just a little bit of sort of resting them and giving them that opportunity to not be involved in the matchday squad ahead of what is a massive game next week. But Carlo Ancelotti did say he's looking to start a strong team on Sunday, and I think he's absolutely right to do that. Look, we haven't played a game of football for over a week now. It was a week on Wednesday. We haven't played the Premier League game of football. It will have been 2 weeks when we come up against Leicester. So I think Carlo Ancelotti is absolutely right to play a full strength team. The likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's returned from injury, it'd be good for him to get some game time under his belt against an opposition that ultimately shouldn't really pose him too much of a threat. Again, that's no disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday, but ultimately, look, I think, certainly with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, this is a fantastic opportunity for Dom to go out and, get a couple of goals. He struggled recently for goals, and that's not particularly his fault. That's, through the fact that the creativity hadn't really been there in the team that was there prior to, the last couple of weeks or so. So I don't blame Dominic Calvert-Lewin for going through a little bit of a goal drought, but this would be a fantastic opportunity and a fantastic game for Dominic Calvert-Lewin to, get in, start from the off, get a couple of goals, get his confidence back up, then maybe bring him off in the second half, and then keep his fitness up for Leicester on Wednesday. But this is Everton Football Club, of course, and we know that we don't do anything easy. I sat here before the Rotherham game and said, look, this shouldn't be too big of a challenge. No disrespect to Rotherham, but, it may be hopefully Everton go out and do the business and maybe, 2 or 3 goals by half time, and then bring a couple of key players off, and then, go and get another couple more in the second half. But as we know, that's not what Everton do. Everton just don't do that whatsoever, do we? We don't win games by 4 or 5 goals. We don't make it easy for ourselves. And ultimately, it's probably going to be another tough game on Sunday. Like I said, Sheffield Wednesday are in, decent form. I don't know if I called them Sheffield United before by accident, just because I've said Sheffield United so much recently. If I have, I apologise to any Wednesday fans watching. It's going to be a tough game. Carlo was asked about Alan as well. He said that Alan, well, he didn't actually mention Alan specifically. He just said that, again, it's day by day and there's progress. But then the club did come out pretty much directly after the press conference and say that Alan will be returning within the next 7 to 10 days, and the club expects him to be back for the game against Manchester United. So he unfortunately will miss Sunday's FA Cup game, and he will miss the game against Leicester next week as well. But yeah, like I said, look, we can sit here all day long and say this shouldn't be too big of a task for Everton. It shouldn't be too hard. Like I said, Sheffield Wednesday currently sitting 23rd in the Championship. They've won 6 games, but 5 of those wins have come in very, very recent time. In fact, they're on an unbeaten streak in their last 5 games. Beat Exeter last time out 2-0, won 1-0 against Derby, obviously Wayne Rooney's Derby County before that, beat Middlesbrough before that 2-1, drew with Blackburn 1-1, beat Coventry, and the last time they lost actually was against Nottingham Forest 2-0. So this side of Christmas, and certainly this side of those fixtures after Boxing Day towards New Year, they've been in absolutely fantastic form. Like I mentioned, they haven't played since the 9th of January, so that might have a toll on them fitness-wise and certainly match fitness-wise as well. But it's also similar with Everton. We've played since the 9th of January, but we haven't played for over a week. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see if we see a level of performance that you can sort of see that we haven't played for a week, or whether we turn up and we absolutely do the business. Because ultimately, we can only really compare. Carlo was asked how he feels the break will have an effect on this game, whether it'll be a positive for Everton or whether it won't be a positive for Everton. And Carlo come out and said absolutely the right thing and said, look, ask me that question after the game. I'll be able to tell you the answer to that question after the game. But I think the only real, situation we can work off for that question is the last time out when, obviously the Manchester City game was postponed. We had a much longer break than we thought we did. We come into the New Year's Day game against West Ham on fantastic form, and we were absolutely dreadful, and we weren't much better the week after against Rotherham. I don't want to sound disrespectful to Sheffield Wednesday, because I'm not being disrespectful to them. Like I said, they're in very good form at the moment. But it felt, certainly that Rotherham game, felt like, it's felt like this a couple of times in recent sort of times as Evertonians, is that we play to the level of the opposition. So if we're playing a Chelsea or a Arsenal or a Tottenham, we'll match their level of ability and their level of effort and their level of sort of fight, and maybe even sometimes go beyond that, and that's why we've managed to get wins against those sides this season. We played against Wolves in tough circumstances, not having a striker on the pitch, but we went out there and we won the game. We matched their level of fight and we created chances and we took them. But the game against Rotherham, which was only a couple of days before that Wolves game, we seemed like we just, we got the one goal obviously in the first 10 minutes, and we sort of just went, you know what, can't really be bothered doing anything now, can't really be bothered running for any balls, can't really be bothered being physical. The players just seemed like they weren't really interested, and they thought, right, this will just be an easy win here, so I won't go out and give it 110% because we'll walk this game. And we really can't afford to do that on Sunday. I would absolutely love more than anything for Everton to turn up and just beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-5-0 like we were doing it at the start of the season. We know this side is capable of doing that. It's going to be very difficult. We haven't got Luca Dean, who obviously is a massive creator. We saw the impact that Luca Dean has on this Everton team against Wolves. It was his first game back, obviously, other than that Rotherham game, first Premier League game back for, over a month and a half, and he'd stepped in, and within the first 10 minutes he'd already assisted a goal. So we know how important Luca Dean is and the impact of not having Luca Dean in this Everton team. Alex Iwobi will be a big miss as well. He's been on fantastic form recently. Having Dominic Calvert-Lewin back will be a big positive, but ultimately, again, a positive that we're going to need to create for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's shown very recently that when he doesn't get the service, he struggles, and again, that's completely understandable, because ultimately you can't really expect him to do everything on his own. So it will be tough, but ultimately I can't sit here and 1 minute come on here after we've beaten Wolves in the Premier League and say, yeah, we could challenge for the Champions League, we could challenge for this, we could challenge for that, and then the next week come up against the side who were 23rd in the Championship and say, well, we may lose this, that, and the other. Of course we may lose. It's a game of football, and ultimately anything can happen in a game of football, and Phil and Wormy are right. We absolutely shouldn't underestimate anybody. Rotherham proved that, and hopefully that Rotherham performance and that Rotherham result will make every single one of these players stand up and go, well, you know what, we come up against the side who are struggling in the Championship at the moment and who aren't doing very well only a couple of weeks back at Goodison Park, and they turned up and they gave us a real fight. And if they had a little bit more quality and they had a little bit more energy on the day, they'd have probably, they could have easily gone out and won that game of football. So hopefully each and every one of those Everton players in that dressing room on Sunday evening, before kick-off, hopefully they all have a little look in the mirror and go, you know what, we need to step it up here. We can't afford to go 1-0 up in 10 minutes and then just think, you know what, that's game, set and match, because look at what happened against Rotherham a couple of weeks ago. Yes, we won the game and that's all that matters in the grand scheme of things, but we ended up going to extra time and having to play an extra half an hour of football, which just wasn't necessary. So like I said, it'll be tough, it'll be physical. The league table, if you just went into this game looking at the league table, the Championship table, you probably think, Sheffield Wednesday aren't doing very well, this will be an easy win. But you have to look at their current form, and like I said, they've had quite an extended break as well. I think they've had 2 Championship fixtures postponed due to COVID-related issues, and even prior to those postponements, they're on a really good run of form. Like I said, 5 of their 6 wins have come in their last 5. 5 of their 6 wins have come in their last sort of 6 games, beating Exeter, Derby, Middlesbrough, and Coventry. So 4 of the 6 wins of the season have come in their last sort of 6 games. So they're on really good form, and we absolutely shouldn't underestimate them. But the expectation is that Everton go out and win this game, even with the players out that we've got out. If you are enjoying the scene, by the way, so far, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Share the live stream. Let's try and get as many people involved as we possibly can. Really do appreciate it. Hope you all have had a fantastic day, and I'm looking forward to your weekend as well. What's this about 8 o'clock kickoffs on a Sunday as well? It's an absolute nonsense, isn't it? I want it by Sunday night at 8 o'clock. I want to be dead chill, dead happy, Everton are through, just have me tea, sitting down before work the next morning. An 8 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday it's almost as mad as an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. Let's get into the live comments then, before we go into my predicted starting 11 for this one. Everton Botcher says, hey guys, how is everyone doing? I'm not too bad, mate. I hope you are doing well yourself. Everton Blues 1878 says, hey Cam, love the vids. How big is having Dom back for us? Spot on. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it's massive. It's massive, and ultimately, look, Carlo was asked a lot of questions today, a lot of direct questions, which I'm quite happy about, because it makes doing a predicted starting 11 a lot easier. He was asked whether Dominic Calvert-Lewin will play. He was asked whether James Rodriguez will play, and, he didn't confirm that both will start, but he practically said, yeah, Dom's ready to play from the off, and he will. James Rodriguez has got no physical issues, and he'll be able to play tomorrow and on Wednesday against Leicester. So, although he didn't absolutely confirm it. He practically confirmed that Dominic Calvert-Lewin and James Rodriguez will be starting tomorrow. So it's massive. It's absolutely massive for Everton. Look, Dom, like I said, is being absolutely unbelievable this season. Absolutely brilliant. And even in these last few games or so, obviously prior to the Wolves game, where he didn't play because of that hamstring injury. Even prior to that, when he hasn't scored and he's maybe looked like he's struggled, you can't really... I don't think I've given Dominic Calvert-Lewin less than a 7 at any point this season on the player ratings, because even when he's not scored and even when he doesn't get the opportunities, even when, he's not really having a great game up top, his work rate is just there constantly. He's constantly fighting, he's constantly working hard, he's constantly battling, he's constantly allowing other players into the game. So he's such an important player to this Everton side, and his work rate is, so important, and you're seeing against Wolves, and again, this isn't going in on Gylfi Sigurdsson because it's not Gylfi Sigurdsson's job, and I understand that he struggled in that position. But you saw it against Wolves, not having a striker like Dominic Calvert-Lewin who can run in behind the defenders and get on the end of crosses into the box. You saw the effect that had. I still stick to my statement that I said after the Wolves game, and that's if Dominic Calvert-Lewin's on that pitch, he has an hat-trick in the first 25 minutes because of the deliveries coming in from Luka Dean, because of the deliveries coming in from Alex Iwobi, and we just didn't have that striker to dart past the last man. And again, like I said, that's nothing on Gylfi Sigurdsson. He's not a striker. He was asked to play out of position, and he did do. So it's massive for Dom. But like I said before, I think this is also a big game for Dominic Calvert-Lewin to step up and maybe get a couple of goals. If not a couple, at least one, to sort of get that confidence back. And I don't think Dom's lacking of confidence, and I don't think the fact that he's had a few games where he hasn't scored has had a massive impact on him. But he probably is frustrated. He probably is going into training thinking, I need to score this week. I haven't scored for a couple of weeks now. Or, I want to score again. It might be affecting his game, and it's not going to affect his game. He's still going to run round. He's still going to give it 110%. But this is a fantastic opportunity against the side who, defensively aren't going to be as, as good, if you like, as to the players that he's playing against every week in the Premier League. This is a good chance for him to get a goal or two and build that confidence back up going into a really important game against Leicester. In regards to the injury for Dom, the hope is that the injury's completely shifted now, and there's no possible chance of it reoccurring. Obviously, there's always a chance of players picking up other injuries or things happening in a game of football, but the last thing we want is Dom to go out and start, and then 25 minutes into the game he's pulled up because he hasn't fully recovered from that hamstring injury. If he hasn't fully recovered, then I'd play Cenk Tosun and maybe bring Dom on for a little bit of game time. But from what Carlo Ancelotti has said, it seems like he's fully recovered from the injury. Near-death experiences, Everton will win. I hope so, mate. Wimmy says, hey, Botchers, Cam lad, hope everyone's good. Is right, mate, I'm not too bad. I hope you're doing well yourself. Everton Botchers, Thierry Small's opportunity tomorrow and on Yango. I don't think so, mate, to be honest. I don't think so. We may see one or two of them on the bench, but Onyango is a very, very, very good talent. Onyango is a very, very, very good young player, but he's still 17 years old. He's not long been promoted from the under-18s. In fact, he got promoted really, really fast from the under-18s to the under-23s, so I don't think we're likely to see him playing first-team football this season. He might be on the bench for maybe a little bit of experience, or if we're comfortably winning, you may see one of the younger players coming on for 5 or 10 minutes, but with what we've seen so far with Anthony Gordon and Niles Nkunku, and I know Niles Nkunku isn't fit for tomorrow, so won't be able to play, are we really expecting Tyler Onyango to get an opportunity? I'm not, personally. Wim says Ancelotti said Kabam will be back. He did. He said he'll be back, but not for this game. Phil says, hey everybody, hi Phil, how you doing? Wim says, Phil, hope you're doing well, bud. Everton says, no more Everton in reserves. Yeah, they'll be coming back. Need to speak to Baz and the Toffee TV lads to make sure that we can sort out a little schedule for them, but it's just been absolutely manic recently, but I'd love to do more of them, of course. Phil says, okay, thanks, hope you're good. Evan Mod says, you're the only reason I watch Toffee TV. Wim says, no, and Nkunku, no, he's picked up an injury. I think Carlo Ancelotti confirmed he won't be available for this game. Again, I don't see, with the Luka Dean and the Alex Iwobi situation, with them coming out and saying, look, Luka Dean and Alex Iwobi won't play tomorrow, but they'll more than likely be playing on Wednesday. I think that's sort of more coming out and saying, yeah, look, I'm going to give them a little bit of a rest. They don't need to play, so they're going to have a little bit of a rest, and they'll be back for the Premier League game on Wednesday. With Nkunku, I don't see a reason as to why you do that, because Nkunku would probably be starting this game if it wasn't for for something that has obviously kept them out of it. So I think it probably is a little bit of an injury, or maybe just a knock. Phil says, forgot about the conference. Always enjoy listening to Mr. Winzalotti. Spot on, mate. Whammy says, we made Rotherham more difficult than it needed to be. Don't underestimate our ability to make the game hard for ourselves. I think Tossen will start them off the bench. And Phil says, agree with me. We really mustn't underestimate anyone. We should be hammering the likes of Rotherham. Spot on. And again, like I said at the start of the stream, that's why I'm not coming on here, Mr. Confident, Mr. Cocky, going, this is going to be brilliant, we're going to score 4 or 5. I just want Everton to go out and absolutely blather someone. And I want to be sitting there like I was in the opening 2 or 3 weeks of the season, sitting there on 70 minutes going, this is boss. We've easily won this game. We've already scored 3 or 4 goals. It's dead comfortable. It's like a training session. It's dead easy to watch. That's what I want to see again. And maybe I'm being a little bit greedy because we saw it, against West Brom. We saw it against Brighton, we saw it against West Ham in the cup at the start of the season, so maybe I'm being a little bit greedy and wanting that, but you're absolutely right, Phil, and Whammy, you can't underestimate anybody, and I think that Rotherham game really, really did tell us all that. Everton don't go out and batter sides, certainly not lower league sides in cup competitions, by the way. I can't remember the last time we faced a lower league team in a cup competition and we absolutely blown them away. I mean, we've had comfortable wins. I'd say the win against Salford was comfortable, and Fleetwood earlier on in the season in the Carabao Cup, but we don't necessarily go out and just completely blow sides away. And ultimately, like I said, Sheffield Wednesday are on good form so far this season. Certainly recently, they had a struggling start, and that's why they are where they are in the league table. But recently, they've really started to pick things up a bit. Let's get into our predicted starting 11 then, ahead of Sunday's game. As we usually do, we will get back into the live comments. Like I said, if you are enjoying, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Evening, Sue, thank you for joining us. Thanks everybody for joining us as per usual. So let's get straight into it. Anyway, in goal, I've gone for Robin Olsen. Now, this was a toss-up, and I think it pretty much is going to be a toss-up, to be fair, with every Evertonian who tries to predict Carlo Ancelotti's 11 on Sunday. Listen, it could well be Jordan Pickford. Because he hasn't played for over a week now. Obviously, he's got a massive game against Leicester at the weekend. That's what makes midweek. That's what makes me think Robin Olsen will maybe get the opportunity in this game and give Jordan Pickford another couple of days off ahead of that game against Leicester. He's not really done anything wrong, Robin Olsen, when he's come in. He had a bit of a shaky game, but we played against Leicester away in the Premier League a couple of weeks ago. Comfortable in that game, didn't really have to do an awful lot, but he was comfortable in there. And it pretty much seems like Robin Olsen is our cup goalkeeper, certainly in these earlier stages of the competition. So I'm going to go with Robin Olsen in goal. I don't think he'd done anything wrong in the last round against Rotherham, albeit didn't have an awful lot to do. Back four, I've gone for Ben Godfrey at left back, Yerry Mina and Michael Keane at centre half, and Seamus Coleman at right back. Now, the right back situation, again, was a little bit of a toss-up. Do I go with Seamus Coleman? Do I go with Mason Holgate? I want Everton to line up with a back line of Luca Dean, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, and either Ben Godfrey or Mason Holgate against Leicester, next week. However, I think it'll be Seamus for this game, and I think that because of Carlo Ancelotti will probably play either Godfrey or Mason Holgate at right back in the Leicester game, so Seamus will get his opportunity against Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday. Might be completely wrong. Carlo might go out with the same backliners that we've seen a lot recently. That's done really, really well, and then Seamus Coleman might come in for the game against Leicester. But I'm going for Ben Godfrey at left back. Again, not really much choice, to be perfectly honest with you. If Niles Nkunku was fit, Niles Nkunku would be the player I'd put in at left back, but ultimately Carlo's confirmed today that Nkunku isn't available for this game, neither is Luca Dean, so there's only one real other option there, and that's Ben Godfrey, and that's not a bad thing. Look, Ben Godfrey's been absolutely exceptional recently when he's played left back, when he's played centre back, when he's played tunes in the dressing room, whatever he does, he's just absolutely brilliant, so no issue with that whatsoever. I've gone with Michael Keane and Yerry Mina at centre half. Now, this may have been an opportunity for Mason Holgate to slot in at centre-back, or maybe Ben Godfrey to slot in at centre-back if like I said, Nkunku or Luca Dean was fit. And, give them a little bit of a test in their natural position. But obviously, we haven't seen Michael Keane and Yerry Mina now since the game against Wolves. They've had quite an extended break, over a week of without football. They both will play against Leicester. barring any injuries or suspensions on Wednesday, and I think they'll be given the chance on together on Sunday as well. And even if it's just for the opening hour, 70 minutes, get them out there, go and get the game won, get a little bit of fitness into them, making sure that they're ready for the game on Wednesday. The only other thing I could see is potentially Mina and Holgate, or Keenan got Holgate and then Mina being rested. But ultimately, Carlo Ancelotti said he's going to put the best side out to win this game of football. And that's our best centre-back partnership. So that's the centre-back partnership that starts for me. And then, like I said, I've gone with Seamus Coleman at right-back. I prefer at the moment Mason Holgate at right back. I can't lie. I think Mason's a better option there at the minute. But I just can see Carlo Ancelotti going with Seamus Coleman. I think ultimately, Seamus is the experienced right back. He's the only natural right back in the side. You may see John Joe Kenny, but I'd be very, very surprised considering he's not even been in matchday squads recently. But there's always a possibility of that. But like I said, I think we'll see Seamus on Sunday just to provide that little bit of experience and that cool level head, in the back line. The Blue Boys Network has donated £2 to the live stream. Thank you very much. He says, up the Toffees. Our channels miss each other. They certainly do. We'll have to get something sorted very, very soon, Mike. A massive, massive thanks for the donation. Really appreciate it. We will get back into the comments as well in just a moment. So there you go. That is my back line. Robin Olsen in goal, Ben Godfrey at left back, Yerry Mina and Michael Keane at centre half with Seamus Coleman at right back. Midfield three, I've gone for Tom Davies, Abdoulaye Doucouré and Gylfi Sigurdsson. Obviously, Carlo confirmed today, like I mentioned earlier on, that Alan still will not be available for this game. He also confirmed that Jean-Philippe Gbamin and Fabian Delph are both still out. So, realistically, given Alan, Jean-Philippe Gbamin and Fabian Delph being out, obviously Abdoulaye Doucouré is suspended for that game against Leicester next week, so you're not losing anything by playing him. It's not like he needs the fitness for Wednesday. He won't play again until next weekend. So I think Abdoulaye Doucouré is almost a cert to start. He provides that energy, he provides that physicality in the centre of the park. We come on against Rotherham. Not only did he score the winning goal, but he really, really turned the game on its head for Everton. He come on and he just demanded and he just consoled that midfield, which was something that we'd lacked all game. Tom Davies, I think, again, look, whether people like him or not, Carlo Ancelotti seems to like him, and Carlo Ancelotti is seeming to persist with him, and I'm happy with that decision. I actually don't think Tom Davies has been particularly awful, to be perfectly honest with you, recently. Has he been unbelievable? No. Is he an unbelievable footballer? No. Is he anywhere near as good as Alan? No. But we know all of that. We knew all of that prior to Alan picking up an injury. We knew all of that before Tom Davies stepped into the squad, and I don't think it's really fair to go in on Tom Davies for what he's not. Is he good enough to be a player that's starting week in, week out for an Everton side that are wanting to finish in the Champions League? No, he's not. But in an ideal reality, in an ideal situation, he's not starting week in, week out for an Everton team that want to play in the Champions League and want to finish in a European place, at the end of the season. He's not playing in that Everton team because ordinarily, when everybody's fit, Alan's playing in that team and Tom Davies is a backup. And I think he's a decent backup as well. Like I said, I don't think he's particularly done anything wrong recently. He's not been unbelievable. Sometimes he's lost the ball, he's lost possession, he's maybe not gone in as hard on a challenge like he should do, but ultimately, on the ball, I think he's been solid. So Tom Davies starts for me, and then I put Gylfi Sigurdsson next to them. I think again it's a toss up between Sigurdsson and Gomez, isn't it? And although Gomez come on and done really well last time I was against Wolves, obviously fantastic cross into the box for the goal, and you could well see Andre Gomez on Sunday for that reason, is the fact that he come on and he had an impact. But I just think you're more likely to see Gylfi Sigurdsson, to be honest. And then I've gone with a very, very strong front three. I've gone with James Rodriguez, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. There is a shout for Anthony Gordon to start in that front three and James Rodriguez to maybe drop into a central midfield role, and I would understand that, and I wouldn't be surprised if we seen that. But I just think that, with Carlo coming out and saying we want to play our strongest side possible, we want to go out, we're taking this competition seriously, we're going to give Sheffield Wednesday the respect, and we're going to go out to win the game, with him also saying that James Rodriguez is going to be available to play both on Sunday and Wednesday. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's ready to play. I think we're likely to see those two starting, and then Richarlison again, very similar situation to Dominic Calvert-Lewin for me. Brilliant opportunity for Richarlison to go out and just put an end to this bad run of form that he's been on. Because look, everybody has different opinions on this, and I know that, you know, some other Blues have different opinions, and that's absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine, because ultimately football is all about opinions. I do this channel, Mike does his channel, Baz and Ped do Toffee TV, Mike and John do the Blue Boys Network, Baz and Ped do Toffee TV, Rose does her channel, the Toffee Blues, obviously, you know, they've got all the different presenters on. Everybody has a different opinion on football and situations. I don't think Richarlison wants to leave Everton Football Club. I think Richarlison loves this football club with every fibre of his body. He tweets pictures of Everton on a Wednesday morning at 10:30 when nothing's happening. He tweets pictures of Everton after, you know, a Sunday afternoon when you're sitting there having your roast and you're thinking, right, okay, we don't play now for a few days, and he's putting pictures of himself up in an Everton shirt. Football players wouldn't do that if they weren't fully committed to the football club. I think what's going on with Richarlison at the moment is that he's an emotion-based footballer, and he's in a bad run of form, and he's not scoring goals. So that is showing in his body language, that is showing in his facial expressions, that is showing on the pitch. He's frustrated with himself, he's frustrated that he's not scoring, he's frustrated that he's not creating chances for himself. So, and you might say, well, it's a team game, it's not all about him, and that's fair enough, and that's acceptable, and Richarlison will accept that. But when he's on that pitch, and I know when I'm on that pitch, I'm the same, it's very, very difficult if you miss a chance to not let that sort of go on in your head. And that's a mentality that sometimes is criticised, sometimes is lauded, because he wants to win, he wants to score, he's a natural winner, he wants to get to the top. And again, similar to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think this will be a fantastic game for Richarlison to step in and do what he done earlier on in the season against Salford, I think it was, where within the first couple of minutes he scored. You know, he scored another one 5 or 10 minutes later, get a couple of goals under his belt and kick-start his season again, because that's what he needs, Richarlison. He needs that little bit of confidence. He needs to be sitting at home after the game going, yeah, I scored 2 or 3 goals there. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I've said it about Richarlison, I've said it about Dom, I've said it about Iwobi, I've said it about Tom Davies. I don't really accept the whole when a player plays well saying, oh yeah, but they were only playing Sheffield United, or they were only playing Salford, because that's okay. And you know, if a player plays well against a poor team, it doesn't mean he's going to be able to play well against a decent team the next week. But confidence is a massive thing in footballers. Confidence is massive, and Richarlison, I think at the moment, is just struggling a little bit with his confidence on the pitch. If Richarlison goes out on Sunday and scores an hat-trick and then comes off with no injury issues, knowing he's going to start on Wednesday, he's not going to be sat at home on Sunday night thinking, yeah, but we were only playing bloody Sheffield Wednesday and they're struggling in the Championship. He's going to go home thinking, it's right, I've scored an hat-trick, I'm back on the goals now, I'm feeling it, I'm ready to go again. And that's the confidence that will bring, and I actually think that could do massive. That could be massive for Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. But I think Richarlison more so, because I think he seems to be struggling with confidence a little bit more than Dom is. But anyway, yeah. That is my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. I think that's a strong starting 11. I think that's a starting 11 more than good enough to go out and get the 3 points. More than good enough to go out and get the win. And ultimately progress us into the next round. Of course, we know if we do win on Sunday, we will play the Tottenham Hotspur or Wycombe Wanderers in the 5th round of the FA Cup. But, again, I'm already aware that I've mentioned the Leicester game a good number of times in this video, and I don't want to make it look like I'm overlooking this game whatsoever, because I'm not. I know as an Evertonian this is going to be a tough test, because Everton could turn up and play the under-18s of a Sunday League side on Scotty Road, and it would be a tough test. And that's not disrespectful to Sheffield Wednesday. That's just, I think sometimes Everton don't raise their level when they should do, and we saw that against Rotherham a couple of weeks ago. Sheffield Wednesday are in good form at the moment, or certainly were before their little break of a few games due to obviously the COVID issues, and their league position doesn't reflect their current form. Yes, they had a bad start to the season, but recently they've been firing on all cylinders. A big win against Derby, win against Exeter, win against Middlesbrough, drew with Blackburn, win against Coventry. Like I said, 4 out of their 6 wins this season have come in the last 5 games. So it's going to be difficult. It will be difficult, and ultimately we're going to have to put up with that confidence that Sheffield Wednesday are going to turn up with. But as much as we can sit here and say we might be a little bit, struggling match fitness wise, they're probably going to be the same, because they haven't played since the 9th of January. So it's going to be difficult for them, and Everton have to go out and do the business on Sunday. Let's get into the live comments then before we finish up. Where says, he is a sly old fox, Phil. I'm happy with the squad, he says. Well, look, Carlo come out at the end of the season and said publicly, very similar things about the squad and it being a decent squad but needing improving. And I think he said the same things. He's not going to come out and say, yeah, it's a dreadful squad, we need to bring more players in, it's absolutely awful, because then that has an effect on the changing room, doesn't it? He's a very, very, very clever man, Carlo Ancelotti. He's been around for a long, long time. He knows what to say and what not to say, certainly in public in front of the media. If you are enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. Does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Really, really do appreciate it. Share the stream. Big thanks to everybody in the live comments as per usual. Where Phil says, is Dean out? He is just for this game. According to Carlo Ancelotti, him and Luca Dean and Alex Iwobi will miss this game, but should be back for the game against Leicester. Whammy says, yeah, no Dean, but only for the Sheffield Wednesday game. Whammy says, Soz, for them, I feel sorry for them now. They have to deal with Godfrey. I know what an absolute beast Godfrey is. Phil says, is he injured or just rested? Thought the KO had been altered. No, it's 8 o'clock on Sunday, I believe. I think so, unless something's changed. No, I think he's just being rested. Given the fact that Ancelotti's come out and said he'll be okay for Wednesday, it's either he's being rested or he's picked up a slight knock, which isn't going to have too much of an impact on him. Whammy says, light injury to Dean and Iwobi, but they're good for Hadi FC, and Kunku is injured, and so is Alan. Ice Wallow. Not going to say that last word. I was watching videos today of AFTV and Robbie being sick by all of these mad names, and I've literally just seen it and I nearly read it out, but I'm not getting sick. He said, do you think we'll finish above Liverpool? Look, the way they're going at the moment, if we can beat Leicester, I think it'll be a massive, massive win, and then who knows where the season will take us. Wim says, and Gabamon surprisingly, Evan Botch says Gabamon is a myth, he doesn't exist. Phil says, after all this fuss over Gabamon, he better be good. He best be, mate. Gavin says, Mina's the most improved for me. Fair enough, mate. Phil agrees, says Mina is a very, very good footballer. Women says, that's what Ancelotti said when asked about Gabamon. Thought he was a shadow looting the woods behind the training ground. Sue says, evening Cam, evening Sue. Beat Colchester 5-0, but that must have been some years ago. Everton now says, hi Cam, hi mate. Keep up the good work on your channel, by the way. Really enjoyed the first video. I'm going to watch the latest one tonight with a beer, a nice bottle of Modelo. She says, remember Gary Stanley, he had lovely hair. Everton Botches has gone Pickford, Coleman, Holgate, Mina, Thierry Smalls, Decore, Davis, Sigurdsson, Rodriguez, Richardson, DCL. Yeah, maybe Thierry Small potentially, because obviously we haven't got any other left back option, but we've got Ben Godfrey there, who's been very, very good recently at left back and is fit enough for me to play on Sunday and on Wednesday. So I think it'll be Ben Godfrey at left back. Miriam says we're still going to win. I think we will have the wall back in place. Holgate, Keane, Meehan and Godfrey. Good luck with that. You Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, I think we'll win, but I just never expect a big win from Everton these days. Phil says, now, calm down. Sue says, I'm from Sweden, 343. Phil says, oh, hello, Sweden. Everton watches Mike any live stream. Women says, hey, Mike, what's happening? Sue says, I hope he gives Gordon a run out. Needs to demand the ball a bit more. Fair point. Everton now says, sounds like a conspiracy, but the fact Anthony Gordon is on the programme usually means they start. Potentially, mate, potentially. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. Mike says, my video was out later. Enjoyed Cam's team is better than mine. I hadn't even got through my team there, so big thanks to Mike for all of the support, as always. What a guy. Chris, what's happening, Chris? He says, hi, pal, hope you're well. Long time since I've been in the comments. I'm not too bad, mate. Hope you're well, too. Certainly has been. Phil says, hi, Mike, almost back. William says, think Richie will start, so less Gordon or Richie start on the right. Don't know, maybe Gordon. Tom's okay as a squad player. He's our Henderson. We will all say he is shit until he's been there so long he becomes good. I think Tom is okay so long as opposition don't use a high press. Again, I'm the same, mate. I don't have any big issues with Tom Davis. Those fans saying he's not good enough to play in a side that are fighting for the Champions League. Well, he doesn't play week in, week out. When we've got a full stem squad, Alan plays and Decore plays and somebody else plays next to them who we probably could do with improving on. But ultimately, if you took any team in the Premier, if you took Tottenham and you said, right, Harry Kane's got an injury and Son's got an injury, Vinicius isn't good enough to play in a side that are challenging for the league. But they understand that he's not their number one striker, so that's, ideally he wouldn't be starting. Chris says, ex-Everton centre-back Morgan Feeney is joined my local town, Carlisle. Just want to hear your thoughts. Is he any good? His time in Everton? Yeah, he was captain in Everton, in Everton's youth teams. Yeah, he's a good centre-half, decent centre-half, just needed to leave for more game time because he wasn't getting it at Everton. Phil says he was okay. Wimmy says never saw much of Feeney. Chris, to be fair, though, he was fairly highly touted. Yeah, spot on. Everton Watch says, Cam, what is the name? What is your podcast name on the podcast? It is the Park End Podcast. First couple of episodes are up on the channel now. You can listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, all of the podcast platforms. And the next episode will be out in the next couple of weeks or so. Probably going to give it a break for a week or so whilst we play, 3 games. But it'll be out in the next couple of weeks or so. And Sue says, took Ray Clements' hand clean off. Anyway, listen, look, I don't think we should underestimate Sheffield. Do I expect Everton to go out and win this game of football? Yes, of course I do. It'd be a good opportunity for us to get some game time under our belt, get back into the swing of things after that break, and put in a decent performance ahead of what's going to be a very tough game on Wednesday. But ultimately, Wednesday isn't the focus. Carlo Ancelotti said it right today. He said, I'm not focusing on Wednesday. I'm not looking towards Wednesday. Wednesday is not my focus now. My focus is, this game on Sunday. And that's absolutely right. He said he's going to start a strong team. So hopefully he does. Hopefully we go out and do the business, and hopefully we, book our place in the 5th round of the FA Cup. But like I said, don't underestimate the Sheffield Wednesday side, who in recent form have been very, very, very good. But this Everton team should still have more than enough quality to go out and win it. And for me, it's big opportunities for the likes of Richarlison, big opportunity for the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin to get their, goal scoring tallies back on track and give them a little bit of confidence going into Wednesday. And Everton Watch says, do you upload all the show's audio? Yes, they're uploaded audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, all of those sorts of platforms, so you can listen to just the audio version there. Anyway, I'm going to finish it up there then. A massive thank you to everybody for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, if you have enjoyed this stream, please do hit that like button. A massive thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments as per usual. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll be involved with as many of them as I possibly can. We will be back in a little while with the weekly news roundup. That'll be a video, and then of course we'll be back on Sunday with the player ratings, with the instant match reaction, all of the post-game content to this game. Let's hope it's a big win for Everton. Let's hope we can go out there and do the business. Hopefully the break hasn't had too big of an effect on us. But, hopefully we should be able to go out and win this game of football. Phil says, good team as always. Cheers. Thanks, Phil. Dosby says, it's a shame we're playing Wednesday on Sunday. And Wormy says, take care, guys. Cheers, Wormy. Sue says, thank you, Cam. Cheers. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Like I said, if you're watching live, massive thanks for getting involved. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comments and we'll get involved with as many of them as possible. Big thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon on The Mighty Blues.